Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos.
Okay.
All right, we are recording. This is one of my
Yes.
favorite days of the week, by the way. I don't know if I've told you that recently, but it is. So
Oh, I love
there's that.
that. It's one of my favorite days too. It really is though. Like
It
it's
really
like,
is.
oh, I start my day with Brenna.
I
and then
love
I'm in a good mood.
Tuesday.
And we kind of like pump each other up. So every Tuesday I'm like, and I could take on the world.
Yeah, and then by the
And then
time
I'm
Tuesday
like,
comes
okay.
around again, we're like, okay, time to do it again.
Right? I'm like,
we need it again.
I need a Brenna. I need my hour with Brenna.
This week's topic is something, listen, I know is very important and I'm like working towards it, but I hate this topic. I really do.
I know. And it's funny that you sent me that Instagram post the other
Mhm.
day that like our 20s and 30s are meant for like stockpiling our assets so that by the time we hit our 40s and 50s we can retire. And you were like, but it's okay. You're in your 40s. I was like, girl, I'm like a month and a half in. Why are we? Hold up.
The thought process is still the same though. I know.
Right,
And I
exactly.
sent that text immediately after I said the picture. I was like, listen, but it still counts in the 40s, okay? But we're done working when we're 50. We're done.
I don't know if I'll be done at 50. But I think it will look different at 50 because I am working towards stockpiling those assets. So one of the things, what we want to talk about today is exit plans. And we kind of brought this topic up amongst each other. And if you check my personal social media, you'll see it, gosh, almost 6 months ago, because it was like the first open house I did coming out of the illness in February. And we're recording this middle of June. There was an agent, and I don't even remember how it came up that day at the open house of like, oh no, I was listening to another podcast, a very prominent real estate podcast with two women on it. And she said, there really isn't an exit plan for realtors. We work until we die. And like her dad was an appraiser and he literally did his last appraisal like a week or two before he died. And I got so angry because I was like, that is not true. And if you're working in this business efficiently and effectively and using using your skills not only to sell real estate, but to maybe invest in your own or to align yourself with a firm, like there are exit plans. And no, I do not want to be opening doors every day when I'm in my 50s and 60s. Like
50s and 60s. Have you seen the Facebook thing going around? There is a real estate agent in Maryland. She is 100 years old and she just sold her like third or fourth house this year. And she's talking about how she's never going to quit. I was like,
no,
madam, go play bunco or something, you know?
Oh my, I can't imagine. Like my grandmother's going to be 103 in September. I cannot imagine. And she's in like pretty decent health for 103. I cannot, this is giving me a tension headache. I cannot imagine her 3 years ago out there slinging real estate.
It's
like
insane. I have to tell you, I'm working a deal right now, and then I was filling out our contract. So my license number is 6 digits long, and it starts with a 3. Okay. And
same. I just had to. I like literally just counted mine out
wait,
my fingers. I was like,
yeah. I wrote out a contract. I'm like, I'm missing a number. Like, what in the world? Like, I go back and check 3 times. This man's license number is 5 digits long, and it starts with a 7. He has been in the business since before I think I was probably born.
Right? Well, and like I did that deal end of last year. It was just a rental, but the woman was like in her 70s. And she was like, oh, business is, I'm just not keeping up because of like social media and technology and maybe. And I was like, honey, hang it up. Like, and it's not, it is, please don't come at me as this is an age thing because it is not. It is absolutely not an age thing. It is a quality of life. I don't want to be doing this when I'm that old. I want to, gosh, the kids would be, I don't like to think about this, in their 30s when I'm in my 70s. I want to be the cool older aunt still who's like, hey, I booked us I'm not going to say cruise because I'll never book a cruise for us.
Oh, why?
But like,
really?
It's like a floating cesspool of summer camp activities. No,
oh my
thank
God.
you.
Okay. All right, this is leading directly into our first thing. Obviously, we're very passionate about this topic, but neither one of us like to talk about it. But there is a reason that realtors don't retire, right? And it's
Right.
because we are independent contractors, which means we are the only ones responsible for paying our bills.
But here's my thing. Plumbers retire.
Yes. But
so why aren't we?
But they have to be smart about it. And that's the thing. I feel
Exactly.
a lot of people in our industry, just like in our version of paycheck to paycheck is paycheck to paycheck. It's closing to closing, but there's
Right.
people that live off their credit cards and then pay them off when they get their next closing, those kinds of things. But we're not making smart choices, or they have a really big closing. They sold that big $1 million house, multi-million-dollar house, and now we're going on a 3-week vacation to Tahiti instead of planning for a future. And my future is bright, folks. I intend to retire 50% on a cruise ship, Alyssa. Like,
go for it, girl. I'll visit you when you're not on a cruise ship.
Yeah, just come see me at the dock. We can grab lunch in between me getting on a different boat. But seriously,
you know what? There are people that do that, and more power to them. Not my thing. I don't want to be stuck on a boat in summer camp.
So
but I think there's also those are the realtors who are only selling houses. Mm-hmm. They're not investing. They're in old school firms who may give them profit share, but not rev share, which is totally different. Yes. It's broken down. I had to explain this to my dad, and he was like, "It's the same thing." I was like, "No, it's not."
I was told it was the same. It's the same thing. It's a different word. It is. It's very different.
No, it is not.
We can talk about that a little bit later,
right?
Too. Yeah.
Well, but also they're not investing in real estate, to make money with it, or they're not in firms that give them 8 different ways to make money. Mm-hmm. They're sitting at an old school boutique firm or even a main label firm that hasn't adapted to the times and is still taking so much of their compensation.
Yep. Or they have their own brokerage. There's people that own they're just themselves, an LLC or a whatever they have it set up as, and it is just them, but they're still not making these business decisions. And when we say invest in real estate, it doesn't have to be real estate. Think about, you've got 401k options, you've got the stock market, you've got other ways to invest or save, or IRAs, all of that crap. But the choice is not happening, and then that's how we end up being 50, 60, 80, apparently 100 years old, still selling houses.
If I make it to 100, I hope you, Aaron, and I are in rocking chairs somewhere and just living it up. Because the best we can in rocking chairs at 100.
I say that I don't want to work past 40, but I mean, I don't want to have.
I don't want to be grinding. Yeah. I don't want to be.
I want to make really good, smart decisions now and invest in have that passive income coming in 4 different various ways, and be able to sell a house if I want to, and still, that kind of thing.
Or just do a referral-based business. Yeah. I want to sit on the beach with a book or something and my phone and be like, "Oh, you need this? Okay, let me refer you to so-and-so. Oh, look, my 18th Airbnb over here just got a booking." Mm-hmm. Accepted. But you know what? I didn't have to accept that because I have a property management company who handles that, and I just monitor from a distance and collect a check. That's working to me by the time I'm in my 50s and 60s.
And I think that helps. That helps eliminate burnout too, because there are so many people that are just, they have a family, they have a lot of overhead, they are hustle, but you haven't built yourself a business. You built yourself a job, a monster that needs feeding every single day. So, what are we'll try to make, because this can turn into a 4-hour episode. So what are
we are both very passionate about this. We are both you should not be working.
What are
and not that you're not working. You should not be slinging houses. I mean, unless that's really what you want to do.
Well, exactly. And so success looks different to everybody. We should preface this by that. If you want to be, and from her little article, that little 100-year-old lady loves selling houses. Okay. So that's great for her, and I love selling houses too, but I really don't think that I'm going to want to when I'm 100 years old. That's the difference.
Exactly. I don't want to when I'm 60. I want, but okay. So we're kind of breaking down 3 different ways to make money other than slinging houses. So we're going to go over investments, brokerage and ownership models, and brokerage sponsored opportunities like rev share, stock options, things like that.
Yep.
So the first one is more of that traditional retirement planning.
Yep.
So that's going to be like the IRAs, the 401ks, investments, and like life insurance and annuities, which I'll be honest, I don't really understand a lot about that last one. I know there are ways to make money with your life insurance, and maybe that's someone we should get on here to interview.
Yeah, and there's
But the first,
same thing with the IRAs. That's a like foreign language to me, but these specific things are
right,
available to literally everybody, right? This
right,
doesn't matter what company you're with, how long you've been in the business, none of these things, but they're all things that if you start soon, like if you're starting ahead of the game, is only going to be better for you in the future.
right. And like, I think my best advice is get a CPA or a financial advisor who understands our income types.
Yep.
Like, and work with them to be like, okay, how much of each commission should I put in a 401k or a Roth IRA or a medical, whatever the medical ones are, like to
HSA,
make
health
sure.
savings account.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
And
So
Google your tax coach. I've done a couple of different like Zoom sessions that I've listened in on that, and there's a few different, like she's saying, if your CPA is setting you up with this IRA, they're just being lazy. They don't want to do the back like set up for it. So do your research, right? There's just like real estate agents, there's good CPAs
yes.
and there's ones that are just trying to make a paycheck and don't really care what it's costing you on the back end. So
Right. And I think the rule of thumb to avoid a Ponzi scheme, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I would double check things or find someone else and be like, yo, is this right?
The next thing is real estate investing, which Travis and I do. And I know that your family has an Airbnb as well, like that kind of thing. You guys, we have like the secret sauce. Like we have the playbook, the codes, the cheat sheet, whatever you want to call it. Why are we not doing more of this? Whether it is flips or long-term rentals or short-term rentals, we have most of the time a head start on that information with things like coming to the market or having the ability to find out that ARV or the ROI or any of those things. And a lot of us are just missing it, and that's the most secure investment, I believe, because we're not talking about 2008, but even after COVID, where we jumped so much in appreciation, we're not going back down, right? Like we have continued to appreciate at that like 2 to 4%. So heck, buy your kids a house and rent it out until they're ready. But yeah,
that is one of the things my dad always kicks himself about. He wishes that when my sister and I were in college, he had bought homes in the cities we went to college in and rented them back to us and our friends, and then either held them and did the same thing with a property management company or sold them when we graduated.
Yep.
Because I'd be in so much less debt for student loans, for campus housing. And I see a lot of people, and I think we talked about her last week or the week before. There's an agent I met out of Florida. That's how she started building her business, was just finding the rentals. And then she turned it into, the parents want to buy something and then they don't want to hold it. So now she's got the listing 3 years later. Like,
and how amazing is that?
It's a great way.
Yeah. And even if they decided to hold on to that rental, that's long-term income. And seriously, I've talked to Travis about this because I've said he's not a long-term guy, but ideally, right? Like it's just buying you that house. But if you buy this house at $250,000 and in 20 years, look at what happens. It's probably worth $4 million, right?
That is my plan. My goal is the first 3 investments I buy will be for each of the kids. And when they are ready to go to college, okay, sell your house.
Great.
Or they want to start a business because they went to trade school and they don't want to, but they need money. Okay, sell the house, but there's rules, like they will be put in a trust or something so that there's rules to it. Or, okay, you're married and you're ready to buy your first house, need a down payment, sell the house. Because I know, like, I'll make money on it, renting it out, doing everything now. And then when they need the finances, boom, done. Then they don't have to go into debt or, they can be launched in a different direction. Like, it's an absolute game changer if you're looking at long-term planning for your family.
Yeah, I think they call it, and you actually had it in the notes, it's called like mailbox money, right? The flip side of that is if you are doing long-term rentals, make sure that you're aware of who you're renting to. Like I just went on an appointment last night for a house that's been rented the last 2 years, and OMG,
Yeah.
OMG, it's going to be an investment pickup. It has to be. It has to. I'm
Right.
talking like window units siliconed and puttied into windows. Like I'm like, I hate to tell you
Yeah.
this, but
Right.
um, but yeah, things like that. Like there are great renters that will stay for years, years in a home
Right.
and take care of it like it is their own, and they're happy to be
Right.
there, and they're grateful for the place, and like great tenants. But I mean, for every good apple, there's another bad one.
Right.
But that
And
is the
then
one I'm
there's,
most passionate about. Sorry for the rant
yes,
on
same.
that.
No, same. And that's the one I think I understand the most.
And
I'll be
probably
honest,
because
like,
we're in it and we see it and we
right.
see those numbers
Yeah.
and we see people that have bought a
Exactly.
house 3 years ago and now they're selling for a job or whatever. And you're like, holy moly, like you got paid to live here for the last
Right.
3 years. How cool is
Right.
that?
Yeah. And then like the other one we kind of touched on, I'll be honest, I don't understand a lot about it, but I think if you found a good financial planner or advisor, is life insurance and annuities. I know that there's a way, if you have the correct type of life insurance policy, that you can borrow against it at zero or low interest. And a lot of people do that to invest in other things. Or I'll be honest, I don't understand a lot about it. It's something I think you should research. I think it's something you should talk to a financial planner about, to better, or your insurance agent, to understand how it works. But from what I understand and what I've seen in different avenues is that's how the rich stay rich.
Yeah,
They
and
don't
it's
have
something. It
a
is
quote unquote lot of debt because they just keep recycling this.
Yeah,
So
I think that that's a misconception a lot of people have is like life insurance is for the people after you die, right? You die and then
right,
this comes into play, but different. And again, I don't know that much about it, but there are different setups that you actually use that while you're here, while you are living,
right.
and essentially to make yourself more wealthy, which is
Mm-hmm.
wonderful.
Yep. Now the another option is building a sellable business. So maybe you do have your own firm. Maybe you do. Cool. I'm not going to knock you for it. It's not something I ever want to do because I don't want the liability. But some people do think that's the better way to go. So, what your goal should be is to build a sellable business, because when you're ready to leave, whoever's taking it, you're not just going to close the doors and be like, oh, I'm done. I don't have any more money coming in. That is ridiculous. Like, what a big, I don't want to say failure, but
Missed opportunity.
epic. Yeah. And like, so if you have a team model, you can sell your book of business or train others to work under your brand and keep the brand and keep the referral or the splits or whatever. Your systems and your CRM, again, it creates a referral business. Like, or you can sell it and say, for the first 5 years, every sale you have that came from one of my, leads in the CRM, I get a certain split on. I keep getting text messages, people who are, leaving the business for one reason or another, sell their website. They sell the domain because they're like, hey, it's been bringing in this amount of business. There are ways, like, what you have is valuable.
What you work, I mean, you worked to curate and grow that business, which I say there's a lot of different ways to do it. Karen Cooper, right? Karen Cooper,
Mm-hmm.
she runs a team, but like she's not in production. Like she doesn't
Right.
sell houses herself. She makes connections, does the conversations, all of those things, and then refers that business. Right. So she's
Exactly.
not actively showing houses or going to inspections or those kinds of things. She finds the business and gives it back out. And that's how she makes
Right.
money.
Like, I think if you're local to Charlotte, you think Stephen Cooley's gone on a listing appointment lately? I don't think so. He's the brand, and you can sell that brand. And I'm trying to think of the term. I'll think of it later. Intellectual property, is that the right one? That's what you would be selling, is something like that. You're selling what you know and the connections that you have.
And here's the thing
So
too, the people like picking up a business like that. It's just like buying like a existing restaurant, right? You're
right,
ideally you have all of these clients and consistent business that have been there for years and years and years and years. But listen, sometimes new management is the worst thing that can happen for a business. It tanks because they ran it with a certain level of commitment and experience, and their clientele had they had a reputation with their clients, right? And if you come in and you drop that ball, that's an investment wasted because
Well, and I was going to say, if you're listening to us and you're like, ladies, I get it, but I'm new to this business and right now I just need to learn how to get business, buy someone's book of business. If you have the cash, that's a great way. Like, or jump on their team or get someone to mentor you with the understanding that when they're ready to leave, you're training to replace them.
mm-hmm.
That is a great, I listen to other podcasts all the time. One of them's the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast. And I can't tell you how many people interviewed on there teamed up with someone who was on their way out, learned everything they could, and got their book of business. They got their CRM.
Yep.
And that's how they truly launched into the big time.
Yep.
Because they did it exactly the way they did, took over, maybe made some improvements, but they had that built-in contact list.
Yep.
That your CRM has financial value to it.
Yep. You know what else has financial value to it? Some brokerages.
Yes. So,
and this varies wildly company to company, but there are, it's 2025, y'all. You go to work in corporate America, you're getting bonuses, you're getting 401k, you're getting things like that. And there is no limit to what you can make in real estate, but also there's a lot of expenses that go into it that reflect directly on who you have for a brokerage. And gosh, there's ones now that there's stock awards, there's revenue share. If you have a firm with a caps, there's bonuses for capping, which I had never had before, and things like that. So that can also, and you can go into it more in depth because our firm, and I don't know if there are other firms too that, like for rev share anyways, will be like a retirement plan. So you're better at explaining that than I am.
So there are some that are similar. Ours, I will only speak to ours because I have a good understanding of how it works at Real. One of the things we set up is that when you retire, you can still access your rev share. And I'll be honest, I haven't looked at that in a long time to remember exactly how it works. I don't remember if you have to stay licensed or not.
You have to be here for 5 years. You get 20% each year. So if you were to leave after year 1, year 2, that kind of thing, after 5 years, you get 100% of that rev share, and you have to keep your license active. So you don't have to.
See, this is why I keep running around. Because I'm like, I used to be really deep. I used to be able to reiterate it. That I think that's
active.
How it works. So, yes,
but that's not saying you have to be. You can still obviously sell real estate actively, but that means like keeping up with your CE, paying your renewal, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I think you can go into referral status, so you don't have to pay all of it, but. To put it into perspective, I do not have a large network. I have 10 people total. Only 5 are currently active and participating in RevShare, which means I only get RevShare from 5 of them. Last month, 4 of them had closings that qualified, and I got paid out $1,154. I'll be honest about it. That's what I got paid. It's not a ton, but that's $1,154 I didn't have to go sell a house to make. So there are people who, if this is something you focus on or something that just happens to come organically, you can make tens of thousands of dollars a month. If you build a larger network. And it doesn't have to be skeezy and like recruiting. I've never been like, hey, want to join Real? It is 100% of the time always been, hey, can I talk to you about this? What's going on? Like something's going on and you seem really happy. That was literally the conversation I had with someone once. Or, hey, I've been following them and now that you're going over, like, why? What made you change? But yeah, you can set this up. I get paid out every month and I just kind of let it sit there unless I truly need it. You can let it sit there and just gain. You can invest it somewhere else. but it's another way. I don't want to say it's passive because it's not, because I put a lot of energy and effort into nurturing my network to be like, hey, just so you guys, do you know this resource is available? Or, hey, there's this event this month that you should check out. How are things going?
Yeah, I think that's important too. And for somebody like for me, when I came from KW, right? Like I am a producing agent, right? So for me, the important things were like the stock awards and the ownership. For me, the stock awards, which you can put in 5% of your closing commission after each closing. And then after you cap, you can do like 10%. And that's essentially, I use that as a forced savings account, right? But, and it's so cool because like as the stock obviously increases, and those of you with EXP, you've seen it happen the same way. As the stock fluctuates, you see, oh wow, that account has a little more money in it than it did last month, that kind of thing, and that's exciting. And then they also like award you for your performance milestones, for capping, which I mean, the only plus I got for capping from KW was like I think I got a coffee mug. Right. It said capper on it, you know? So that I think it's is it 100 shares? It's something around there. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Right? It's 100 shares, let's say. And if that grows, like it's, you know, stock's like $4 and something right now, but if it ends up being $10 one day, that's a great bonus for me just running my business, which is amazing.
So I produce. I'm not a top producer. I would love to be one day, but I'm not right now. And I just pulled up my numbers. So, because I'm very transparent about it, I'd rather people know than be like, well, how much is it actually? Because I'll be honest, I didn't understand the excitement about it until I actually started earning some rev share. And when that first month, it was like $500. I was like, that's a car payment. Wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been with Real 2 years this month. My current stock value, because I do have it set that I buy stock every time I close, and I've only capped 1 year. My current stock value is $19,000. My total, and there's cash because I just had a closing and it's still sitting in my wallet, but $19,000 in stock after 2 years. I mean, I'm not going to complain at all. And that's, yes, I've purchased some of it, but like you said, it's a set it and forget it for me. It comes out of every closing. I don't think about it. It's just kind of like, it's not a 401k because obviously it's stocks, but that's how I think about it.
More volatile.
Like when I was in, but like when I was in corporate America, I knew it was just gone every month. I didn't calculate it into my income because I didn't see it in that check. And then when it was there when I needed it, if I needed to cash it out, which, COVID. But it's that I think is more passive. Like I get it because I am producing. I get it because I did cap. And if I wanted to, I could go in and buy as much of it as I truly want to.
Right.
But that's a great way. Like you're earning ownership in your company, not just compensation, not just your commissions.
Yep. And the other one, I mean, there's, like we said originally, EXP has a similar rev share and stock plan. Actually, I started with EXP. I think we talked about this before. I was with EXP for exactly like 4.5 months. I had no idea what rev share was or a stock plan or any of that. And looking back, I just have to say this, and I loved KW. I loved the people that I met at KW, all of those things. But if I look back at the 4 years that I was with KW that I capped every single year, how much that would have been if I just stayed with EXP, it makes me a little ill inside.
Right. Well, and so 2 things real quick. Like I was with EXP a year or 2 years. And I never got rev share because I didn't attract anyone, which is fine. But I had it set up the same way that it bought me stock. I still get alerts every once in a while like, oh, you earned this interest, this. I'm like, oh.
Nice. There it is.
Cool. So again, I just set it and forget it. I have no idea where it sits. When I die, I'll find it, I guess.
Well, this is so, for example, for us purchasing out of our commission check, it's like my sister has like an automatic whatever amount. I think it's $1 amount out of every paycheck goes into a savings account, a high yield savings account. But it is more up and down than a savings account, but it's it's mostly been up. Like when I joined Real, it was $1.48 a share.
Right.
Right now it's a little under $5. So
Right.
you can see that's gained a little bit more than 1% from a savings account. But
Right.
that's how I look at it. Like it's still my money, but I'm just setting it
Yes.
aside for a rainy day. And also if I think about like, oh man, like I could have used that, which I wouldn't have. It would just sit in like a bank
I would have
account
spent it
somewhere.
on something
Yeah,
stupid.
exactly.
Like,
But it's like paying your cat back. Like it's like getting your cat just sitting there. That's how I look at
right.
it too.
And I think so we've covered stocks and we kind of went over rev share about like building the network, but some firms also offer profit share. And I think it's important to understand the difference between the both.
Yes.
Or between the two. Rev share is split. So when Real takes their 15%, they give me a percentage of their percentage. It doesn't come off that agent.
It is a
Right, it's a pre-profit split.
It's a pre-negotiated referral fee.
Yes, that's a great way to describe it. When you have profit share, it depends on how much that office profits. So if your office is throwing luxury parties every quarter with themes and renting cars to sit out front for photo ops, that's cutting into your profit, which means you're probably not going to make as much because it's not pre-negotiated. It depends on how they do each month.
Well, exactly. And
that's a huge difference.
Each brick and mortar is individually owned, right? So it depends on what they decide. Like if they put a new roof on, that eats into the profit. Like maybe your people all had closings that month and it was a really successful month and the office is like, oh heck yeah, now we can afford to put a roof on, right?
Right.
But they don't take your profit share into account before they spend the profit.
Exactly. Right? It's after all of their monthly expenses, then you get your cut. Versus rev share, you get your cut
first,
and then the firm has expenses off of their portion.
Yep.
Huge difference. Yep. And just something to keep in mind, like they are not the same. So if a firm is saying, oh, it's this or it's that, but they're like, ask for specifics, ask how that works.
Yeah, especially if long-term exit plans are important to you, because I mean, if you want to hustle the rest of your days and be like Miss, I don't know, Shirley, who's selling houses at 100 years old, be my guest. But the traditional brokerages as well, like those small mom and pop, like brick and mortars, like a lot of times you're, and I mean, we could be wrong. They could be offering a 401k. Like each one is going to be different, obviously, but you're probably going to be back to the first thing that we talked about, right? Your investments, whether it's in real estate or your 401k or things like that, to build out an option for you. And this is, we're not saying that you have to get out of the business and make more room for the young kids coming in when you're 50, but having an option is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for those of you who are like, oh my God, I don't have any of this, I don't know what to do.
That's okay.
Here's where we think you should start. 4 things. Audit your income sources. Are you only making money when you sell a house? Are you finding it somewhere else? What percentage of your income is tied to closings only?
Yep.
Then pick one thing to try to add to your business or to add to your income stream. Do you need to invest? If your firm doesn't offer it, do you need to go set it up yourself? Like, you know that with every closing check, you're going to send a certain percentage to your financial planner or your CPA or whoever it is, your stockbroker, I guess it would be, to buy, or are you going to do it through Acorn? Or are you going to set up, like I have my personal checking account, every time I swipe my debit card, that whatever decimal is left, like if it's 1950, they take that 50 cents up to the next dollar and they roll it into a savings account for me. So maybe you need to do something like, it could be as simple as that.
Yep.
Meet with a financial planner. I think that's going to be my goal for Q3 is I really do need to sit down with one. See where I do need to make adjustments, what I need to change or add or, drop to get where I truly want to be.
I would call, I'm going to throw this in there, penny wise was at, well, Miranda too, but Pennywise is a like a long-term financial planner. And I don't know if Miranda Whitley, which we've talked about on here, does a lot of that. You know, she does a lot of like
she would be good at like once you have that plan, putting it like physically putting into action for you. Like, okay, we need to set up this bank account, or let me monitor what you're actually spending.
Yep.
But yeah, Pennywise is a good place, or if you have someone local. And then after you've done these audits and looked at all these things, look at your firm. If your firm isn't aligned with the goals and the steps and the tools that you just wrote out for yourself in steps 1 through 3, maybe it's time to look at a different firm. And I know it's expensive to switch firms. Signs are expensive. You know what? Have them re-vinyled. That's cheaper. Or, you know, buy the cheaper signs to start if you have to. But staying with a firm, and this is not recruiting. This is just in general, because we've both been there. I mean, my first firm I think I was on a 60-40 split. I was not getting 60. Okay. So
listen, we live and we learn, you guys. Like, right. That's the whole point.
And as a new agent, if they had been giving me the training I thought I was getting, or like it was a team thing and I was getting leads, you live and you learn. So now we're going to learn. So look at what they're actually offering you and see if there's a better option out there.
And it might not be,
whether it's EXP, whether it's whoever. Right, there may not be.
It might not be a cloud brokerage with a revenue share plan that works, that is what you're looking for. But just the switch that I made, no, and this is without taking stock into account or rev share into account or anything like that, just on tap and monthly fees alone was going to end up saving me like $18,000 a year. That's like a pretty good chunk towards a down payment for me to buy an investment property. You know?
Right.
So,
yeah, I have someone in my network, when she approached me about it, she had done the numbers because she was at a boutique firm and the boutique firm was taking a large cut. And then the year she decided to switch, they had said at the end of the year, there's no more cap anymore. It'll always be this cut. And when she did the math, if she had, staying there that year cost her $70,000. And if with what she was projected to make the next year, because there would be no cap, it was going to be well over $100,000. And she was like, this is just, it's easy. This makes sense. So she made the move. And again, it may not be like, Brenna, you went cloud to brick and mortar, back to cloud.
Yep.
So it might be still a traditional firm, but that has a better split because you're not ready to make the jump. Or, you know, there's another reason your market doesn't, like, sellers really are like, no, you have to be Berkshire Hathaway or you have to be blah, 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 blah in this market. Okay. Cool. But figure out which one is also the best for you as a business owner, because that's what you are. You are a business owner. And I think if there's one thing we've touched on in here, or that I would be like, this is what this episode is about. Well, 2 things. Retirement is not quitting. It's about setting yourself up so that you have the choice to stop. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Build that nest egg and let someone inherit it.
Yep.
But you shouldn't feel like, oh, I have to sell 87 houses this year because I don't have anything. Like, no, like, let's prepare ourselves. And Warren Buffett, I have this quote in here, and I think it's a great one. And we've touched on a couple of things that cover this, but like, if you don't build a business that pays you while you sleep, you're going to work until you die. And I think that goes for any type of business. Like, if you open an ice cream stand and you don't eventually get a manager that you can trust so you can go on vacation, then the business is running you.
That's exactly what I said earlier. Like, you didn't create, you know, a business, you built a job. Like, that's... And listen, we both love real estate. We're in a business because we love it. But one day I want to do a little bit less of it.
Right. I want to do... maybe not less of it, but I want to like...
I want to do it from the deck of a cruise ship.
Well, I'll do it from a deck. It's not going to be on a cruise ship. But like... I want to not be the one who's getting my hands dirty every day. I want to be the one not chasing down the EMD checks or, you know, all those things. So, yeah, there are different ways. Oh, shoot, that reminds me.
Oh, I think she's writing on a sticky note. But that's really it for this week, you guys. We're building out our retirement exit plans as well. So if you have ideas or you have a company that you use or thoughts or anything like that, make sure you send us a message or find us on Facebook. And we're always open to ideas and suggestions. So
Yes, absolutely. All right. We will see you guys next Tuesday.
bye, guys. We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.